Hello again, you're still watching Joy News Prime, and let's do more business news. More microfinance companies continue to raise issues with the recent cleanup of the sector. The latest is Nationwide Microfinance Company. According to its chief executive, Joseph Edu Kweson, Bank of Ghana failed to formally communicate their liquidity position before the regulatory action.
Mostly the communication was informal. They will invite you to the office and advise you your payment plan, your plan, and that kind of things. But officially, there was no written communication to that effect that your company is insolvent and having a challenge and that kind of things. And for that matter, we are going to close it if you don't rectify the situation.
Did you give them a plan in terms of how to deal with this liquidity situation? Because we are getting the understanding that every company was given ample time to correct their challenge, but looks like you guys were not committed to it.
No, the plan was actually related to individual customers, not Bank of Ghana or the institution as its own, that this we are planning within 6 months or 1 year to inject this thing. But it was one-on-one on the customer base. As and when a customer reports us to the institution, that's the central bank, then they invite us and we give the customer a plan, and we go by the plan by making payments on that plan. But as a holistic plan to the Bank of Ghana, it wasn't welcome. It wasn't well communicated.
You realized that you had a liquidity position yourself. What steps did you take to correct the liquidity position?
Yeah, the liquidity problem was a surprising one because of the system, what happened in the system, the collapse. You see, we were given a mandatory requirement that we should place 30% of our deposits that we received with other institutions like the banks, the savings and loans, and that kind of things. So when that challenge came, all those funds were locked up, and people were then calling on us for their funds. So how do we pay them? We have to structure it in such a way that they are not being affected, that the institution doesn't be affected.
Meanwhile, CEO of Universal, one of the remaining 137 companies after the central bank's cleanup exercise, Kojo Amofa Kofi, has praised the central bank for its action. He told Joy Business the intervention will bring sanity into the sector.
We realized as a nation that these institutions, a lot of them, after some time, will cease to operate. People who have put down their deposits will complain on the radio, TV, we've lost our money, we've been there, the place has been locked up, and who cares? I mean, the regulator at that point was a bit silent and will not do much. And so if at this point in time, the regulator has woke up to say that, look, we will have to be responsible for the licenses that we have issued, and that even if you are not doing the right thing, we will ensure that the shareholders, those who, set up the companies, should lose their investment in the company. But for the depositors, they have done nothing wrong to suffer the consequences of the collapse of the institutions, and I will pay their deposits to them. Then I think it's a good news. And for me, I indicate that the time to trust the financial sector and the regulator, that's Bank of Ghana, is now. In fact, we've moved away from an era when one will put his money in an institution and will be asking when you wake up in the night, how is the following day going to be like? If I go and they are not there, how do I get my money? Now the regulator says, don't worry, you have paid us to do the professional work for you. We will check the balance sheet. You may check cars and paints and the buildings, but we have the knowledge to check the balance sheet for you. And when we get to know that the balance sheet is giving an indication that these institutions cannot be there for the next, the short term or the foreseeable future, we will take the institution from them and then pay depositors so that nobody loses the money. For me, it's a good thing. If this is how the exercise is being carried out, then I wonder why a Ghanaian shouldn't have confidence in the sector at this point in time. Because now the people who have deposited their monies are not going to lose their monies. And the regulator has been able to say over 484 institutions that were having our licenses, we have ensured that 347 are not fit to operate. And so we are not just coming to say, don't do business with them, they are not fit to operate. But I'm saying I'm taking responsibility for the decision to clear these ones by paying your monies to you. And that what you have to look out for is the number, or the number that is fit to operate. And that number is 137. Then the confidence that has been lost for a long time should be restored.
So, Mr. Fofie, however, the bank assertions that the current action by the Bank of Ghana can worsen the level of confidence in the bank and non-bank systems. To other stories now, Acting Vice Chancellor of Kumasi Technical University, Professor Mike Agbesi Echampon, says the informal industrial sector cannot exist in isolation in Ghana's quest for socio-economic breakthrough. It says there is the need for partnership to fully leverage benefits of the sector for accelerated economic growth. Love FM's Chrissy Debrice reports.
Professor Champon told graduating technicians appreciating theoretical principles behind their craft is crucial to society.
When I go to Swami magazine, you see people with incredible skill to use their hand, but they don't have that technical understanding of some of the issues. Even though they are good in practice for several years, their understanding of the theory behind what they do. So what we try to do now with the mandate that we have is to bring those guys into the formal sector, give them some level of training, equip them with the right type of knowledge and some principle behind what they do, which probably some of them don't really understand, to bring them to that level where they can begin to address our issues with a lot of understanding behind. So yes, you see, if we leave these people behind and forget about the middle level, the top kind of, because it's a chain reaction, chain kind of system where Ghana, we've been over-focusing on the bookish type of training where people are taught theories, they can tell you all the issues, the problem, but then when it comes to using their hand, they are not able to.
A total of 269 graduating technicians received diplomas, advanced diplomas, technician certificates, among others.
So we identify these people. Over the years, we focus on HND, BTech, MTech, and the higher level people. And to the extent that these people are neglected, so that they come through, but when they finish school, they just move out without any formal arrangement to present to them and also to let their parents know that they have come through our system and have been equipped to affect our country and even themselves. So we decided to organize this special congregation, or we call it graduation ceremony. It's not the type of congregation that we bring people from outside, but to honor them, to let them know that we value their contribution to society.
Crude oil traded at $61.46 a barrel after losing some 51 cents. Precious mineral gold, on the other hand, sold at $1,370.80 an ounce. Let's head to the commodity markets to see how trading activities went today. For business tonight with me, Sandra Esinam Afenu, and Eid Mubarak to all our Muslims brothers and sisters. Hope you had fun. But for more news, you can actually log on to our website myjoyonline.com/business.